When you think of a fairy, what comes to mind? Is it a tiny, sparkly creature with delicate wings, flitting among flowers and granting wishes with a wave of a magic wand? Well, get ready to have that picture completely shattered. The cute, friendly fairies we see in movies and storybooks are a modern invention, a far cry from their origins in folklore. Today, we're peeling back the glitter to uncover the truth about the Fae. And trust me, it's much darker and more fascinating than you can imagine. For centuries, across cultures all over the world, our ancestors didn't see fairies as helpful little friends. They saw them as powerful, unpredictable, and often dangerous supernatural beings. These weren't the Tinkerbell types. They were the fair folk, the good neighbors, the gentry names whispered with a mix of respect and fear. You didn't want to get on their bad side, because their pranks could be anything but harmless. Let's start with one of the most terrifying legends, the Changeling. It was widely believed that fairies would steal human babies from their cribs and leave a fairy child a changeling in its place. This changeling might look like the human baby, but it would be sickly, constantly crying, and have an unsettling wise-by-and-its-ears look in its eyes. In some tales, the changeling was just a log of wood enchanted to look like a baby, which would soon wither and die, leaving the parents heartbroken. The real human child, meanwhile, was taken to the fairy realm to serve the Fae or to infuse their fading bloodline with human vitality. Imagine the terror of new parents, seeing their baby suddenly change and fearing it was no longer their own. And it wasn't just babies they were after. Fairies were notorious for luring adults into their world, known as the Otherworld or Fairyland. A beautiful melody heard in the woods or a mesmerizing light could draw an unsuspecting person off the path. If you followed, you might find yourself at a lavish fairy party. You'd dance, eat, and drink, caught up in the magic. But time works differently in the fairy realm. What feels like a single night could be 100 years in the human world. If you ever managed to return, you'd find everyone you ever knew was gone. Your home was in ruins, and you were a stranger in your own land. Even worse, eating fairy food could trap you there forever. So why were people so cautious around them? Because the Fae operated on a completely different set of morals. They didn't see things as good or evil, but they were fiercely protective of their rules. Simple things could cause great offense. For example, you should never thank a fairy directly, as it implies a debt they don't believe they owe. Instead, you'd leave them a gift, like a bowl of milk or cream. You also had to be careful with your words. Calling them fairies could be seen as an insult. That's why people used nicknames like the good neighbors, hoping to flatter them and stay on their good side. Iron was believed to be one of the few things that could repel them, which is why people would hang horseshoes over their doors for protection. From the mischievous Pucker in Ireland, a shapeshifter that could bring either good or bad fortune, to the deadly Kelpie in Scotland, a water horse that would drown its riders. The world of fairy lore is filled with creatures that demand respect, not affection. They were forces of nature, as beautiful and as dangerous as a raging storm. So, the next time you see a picture of a cute, smiling fairy, remember the ancient stories. Remember the changelings, the stolen time, and the eerie music in the woods. The real world of the Fae is a place of shadows and secrets, far more thrilling than any fairy tale. Thanks for journeying into the darker side of lore with me today. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into forgotten myths. Let me know in the comments which dark fairy tale you want to uncover next. See you then.